Welcome back to Narcissism with Nina. My name's Nina Batista. I'm a licensed psychotherapist, survivor, and I specialize in treating survivors of narcissistic abuse. As always, like and comment if this resonates, and hit that subscribe button if you want to stay on top of all things narcissism with Nina. Ever wonder why you know a relationship is abusive, but you still can't stop thinking about them or even miss them? You're not crazy. You're actually caught in three powerful mental traps that keep survivors stuck: regret, rumination, and euphoric recall. Today, I'm going to dive into each of these. So let's talk about these mental traps and how you can start breaking free from them. The first one is regret. Regret is one of those feelings that can really keep us stuck in the non-healing phase. The regret of, what if I tried harder? Or what if I leave and they change? Or did I make a mistake by leaving? These constant thoughts keep us stuck in toxic and abusive patterns. Feeling down, regretting that we stayed in the relationship so long, regretting that we even entered the relationship at all, regretting not leaving earlier. None of these thoughts are helpful or effective for your healing journey. It's just another form for you to self-blame and essentially criticize and persecute yourself. And that is not helpful when you're trying to heal and detach from your abuser's narrative, from all the toxic and distorted thoughts your abuser tried to make you believe or brainwash you with. Narcissists thrive on a dynamic where you always feel like you're the one at fault, and they manipulate you into doubting your decisions, right? With all the gaslighting. They'll criticize you, they will blame you, they will project onto you. So you really start to believe that you're in the wrong here. That's where that regret thought of, what if I just tried harder? It's that self-blame. It's me. I'm the issue here. But just to remind yourselves, regret isn't a sign that you should go back. It's just a natural response to a situation where you invested so much of yourself, even when it wasn't reciprocated. Here to validate that experience for you. Our brains are very tricky, right? Our feelings of regret can make us want to act, but that doesn't necessarily mean that feeling is correct. Our feelings are valid, they're not facts. The second one that keeps us stuck is rumination, replaying of arguments, wondering what you could have done differently, obsessing over their words or your words. It's exhausting and paralyzing. You're just sitting there replaying things. What if I said that? What if I tried harder? What if I looked prettier? What if I was thinner? What if I did X, Y, and Z? It's another form of self-blame. It's another way for you to essentially say, maybe it's my fault that this didn't work out. Rumination keeps you stuck in this ineffective thought loop. And not only that, but it pulls you out of your life. Since you're essentially living in your head, all you're thinking about is your abuser. Even if you're not with them any longer, they're still in control of your life if you're just constantly thinking about the relationship and replaying what could have been. Not only are you about an unfixable issue, but you are also distracted from the good parts of life, right? Rumination pulls you out of your life since you're always in your head. It's like getting punished twice, right? Now, not only were you in this relationship that was abusive and toxic, now you're punishing yourself by staying in your head. By staying in your head. That causes you to disconnect. Rumination is your brain's way of trying to solve a problem that isn't solvable, because the problem was never you. Your brain is trying to conceptualize that because it's really difficult, right? People tend to negate how difficult and heartbreaking it is to wrap your head around the fact that this person you thought loved you, this person meant to love and protect you, was actually abusing you. It's a really hard pill to swallow. It's difficult for us to conceptualize that as humans. A rumination is a way for us to try to solve it, to decipher what's really happening, because they said they loved me, but their actions were inconsistent. So it had to have been me, right? We're trying to find a solution. But unfortunately, there is no solution. It's just because your partner is an abuser, they're pathological. And that's what it is. Examples of rumination is like replaying conversations. You might reread emails, text messages with your abuser, thinking about different things you could have said or done, and focus on mistakes that you believe that you made. Again, another form of just blaming yourself. You're trying to solve something that's not solvable. You're trying to fit a square into a circle. And the third one, it's euphoric recall. Euphoric recall happens when your brain selectively remembers the good moments, the times they were charming, loving, attentive, affectionate, where they were love bombing you. You might think, but we had such a great connection at the start. Wasn't that real? We tend to hold on to those positive experiences as a way to keep us stuck in that relationship. That's also how our abuser keeps us stuck. They want us to keep remembering the love bombing, so we stay because we feel like we're getting something met, some sort of need or connection. The euphoric recall is one of the most dangerous traps because it keeps you emotionally tethered to someone who actually was harming you. And when all you're doing is replaying the positive times or the little times they were doing well, you're going to diminish and minimize all the abuse that you endured, all the criticism, all the invalidation, all the gaslighting. You're going to end up gaslighting yourself. The reason I'm teaching these 3 R's is for you to have some level of awareness, because change can't happen without self-awareness, right? Just identifying when you find yourself, am I in this situation? Am I currently engaging in these regretful thought patterns or rumination or euphoric recall? Is this effective? Why do these traps happen? The key one is the trauma bond. Regret, rumination, and euphoric recall are all symptoms of trauma bonding. Narcissistic relationships are a cycle of idealization, devaluation, and discard. So this inconsistency wired your brain to crave the highs and blame yourself for the lows. When you're constantly being gaslit, when you're being told that you're to blame, you're going to start believing it. Another reason this happens is survival mechanism. Your brain wants to make sense of what is happening. So it's so confusing. How can we conceptualize that someone who said they loved us and wanted everything for us is now abusing us? It's really hard to wrap our head around. Your brain wants to make sense of what just happened. It might latch on to memories that provide a false sense of comfort. That's euphoric recall. It's a way for us to avoid the grief and the pain. Euphoric recall is our bodies trying to protect us from feeling that pain. However, that's not effective. We need to really sit and feel and allow ourselves to go through the motion of the uncomfortability, of the pain. We need to go through that in order to get out on the other side, or else we're just going to stay stuck. If we don't allow ourselves to process and fully encompass these emotions, it's like you're shoving them down. What happens is they end up coming out sideways later on. Trauma, anxiety, depression. When we try to suppress our emotions, end up controlling us. And we're no longer in control. We end up reacting instead of responding. So it's really important to bring that awareness. What is happening within our bodies? What is happening right now for us to be able to navigate that effectively? Another reason we end up staying, and I think this one is not nearly spoken about enough, but societal conditioning. Right? We're often taught that love conquers all, that leaving is a failure, that we should fight for love, that it should be dramatic. These beliefs make it harder to see the relationship for what it truly is. We start to minimize and justify their behaviors as abusive. We start to say, oh, maybe they're just having a bad day. Everyone's gone through stuff. As a partner, I should stick with them through thick and thin. But no, there is no excuse to tolerate abuse. There's no excuse to abuse, right? We've all had trauma in our lives. It doesn't give us a right to abuse other people. Be mindful of that too. I cover all of this and go further in depth in my 12-week self-paced coaching program, where you'll get weekly modules of me helping you break the trauma bond, helping you really understand what's going on with you internally, reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your emotions. We need to detach you from your abusers, learn what your truth is versus what your abuser tried to brainwash you with. Learn how to love life again, reclaim your life, enjoy yourself, get out of your head, get out of the relationship. That's what I really want for you. Start by giving yourself some grace. Stop blaming yourself, acknowledge your feelings. Just sit with it, say, I'm sad right now, and that's okay. Regret, rumination, and euphoric recall are normal responses to abnormal circumstances. So you're not weak or foolish for feeling this way. Please stop blaming yourself. Just give yourself some grace that you deserve. One other tool to challenge the euphoric recall, write down all the ways that your abuser hurt you. I call this my shit list. Write down all the ways they abused you, all the toxic things they've done, everything they've done to harm you. When your brain starts to think about the positive and the good moments, you can go back to that list and remind yourself, hey, this is my brain romanticizing it. This is my brain trying to protect me from grieving. However, I don't need this protection. I need to grieve and I need to reconnect with myself. As a product of being a victim of this abuse, we learn to suppress our emotions because in the relationship, we weren't allowed to talk about our feelings. We'd get punished. So we really, in the healing process, need to learn how to tune into our emotions, reconnect with our emotions in order to gain control of our emotions. Another trick is to shift your focus. Instead of ruminating on what went wrong, distract yourself, go do something with a friend. Ask, what do I need right now in order to heal? What can I do today to take a step forward? Remind yourself, I am worthy of love that feels safe because you are. You really are. You deserve healing, love, and genuine, authentic connections that make you feel fulfilled. You deserve that.